What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday to everyone. Climate data report here for today's weather forecast. If this is the first time you've checked out our weather forecast videos, this is something we do every day of the week where we update the weather on the lower 48. So if you want to be informed about the weather daily, hit the subscribe button down below. Starting off with today's infrared satellite picture, you can see there's a large system over the central U.S. that will provide severe weather for the southern plains, and it's going to provide a winter storm, actually a major winter storm, for portions of the upper Midwest. Taking a look at the current radar picture, you can see there are some showers down in northern Texas and Oklahoma, and as you get further north, there's actually some snow from Colorado through Nebraska, portions of South Dakota, and portions of Wisconsin and portions of Minnesota. Wisconsin, the snow will be starting for you probably sometime within the next 4 hours. Taking a look at the national hazards map, you can see here there are winter storm warnings and advisories up from Colorado up through the upper Midwest. You do have wind advisories up in Texas today, and you have a blowing dust advisory for northern Texas and portions of western Oklahoma. Taking a look at this week's drought watch, and you can see here in the west on the drought monitor, there's still some instances of drought. There's still a couple in California, and I think some of them will probably be erased once the snow melt starts happening, whenever that may be, because as we know, the atmospheric river has just been nonstop, and it's actually going to pick up again next week. The worst of the drought in the west is actually in Oregon right now. If we take a look at the central regions in the plains, you still have severe to extreme drought conditions in portions of Kansas and Oklahoma. So any showers you get today will be greatly appreciated. Same thing goes with Texas, but it's not going to really do much for the drought situation in Texas today. In the east, we see the worst drought conditions are across the Gulf Coast states and in Florida, where there is a moderate drought in Florida. Florida will have to watch this front as it comes through. It could get hung up over Florida, which might provide some chances for precipitation. Don't know if it's going to be enough to really put a dent into the drought situation. Taking a look at today's severe weather outlook, there's an enhanced risk of severe weather across portions of Oklahoma, northern Texas, and extreme southwest Arkansas. Surrounding this, there's a slight risk of severe weather, and surrounding that, there is a marginal risk of severe weather. There is also now a 10% chance of a tornado within either side of 25 miles near the Dallas metro area. Although tornado is not the biggest threat today, you can never rule out an isolated tornado or two during the initiation with these cells, as they will start off as supercells. Wind threat is 30% in the enhanced risk area, and the biggest threat today, I've seen several people talk about this on Twitter, storm chasers, saying that there could be a really large hail threat today with these supercells as they start, and there could be hail upwards of golf ball size or maybe even larger. So we'll have to watch that this afternoon. Timing this out on the newest HRRR model run, HRRR, and this is the 12Z run. You can see here's the snowfall up here in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Extreme northeast Minnesota, you could see up to 8 to 14 inches of snow according to the National Weather Service. Elsewhere, 4 to 8 inches is expected, and portions of northwest Wisconsin, you could also see up to 4 to 8 inches of snow today. Here's the HRRR model for the south, and we're actually going to zoom this in so you can see the thunderstorms. The thunderstorms do initiate in Oklahoma and Texas as some supercells. Then it quickly congeals into a squall line, and at that point, wind would become the main threat with an isolated tornado potential within the line. But watch what happens here. The line just blows southeast as you get into tonight, and it does maintain itself into Louisiana, which I think is going to happen. After Louisiana, as it gets towards Mississippi, it starts to lose its punch and becomes disorganized. Then watch what happens here. It does re-energize and try to provide a severe weather threat for the Florida Panhandle for tomorrow. Going back to the SPC, they do have a slight risk of severe weather across Louisiana coast, Mississippi coast, Alabama coast, and the Florida coast, as you can see here. It's only 15%, and they also have 2% probability for tornado And hail threat tomorrow is much less, as this is just mainly going to be a wind event. Taking a look at the longer range of the forecast, we got a couple things to look at. First, here's the GFS, and it shows our system that comes across here today and provides the winter weather in the upper Midwest. But watch what happens with the front as it gets to Florida. It really puts on the brakes and slows down, providing Florida with some opportunities for rainfall, which they do need the rainfall. It's not uncommon for it to be dry down there this time of the year, so any rain that falls can be greatly appreciated. As you look here on the west coast, you do see another system comes on shore in California, though be it's a much weaker system. This is on Sunday evening. Behind that, yet another system's going to come. And as you can see here, Sunday evening into Monday, you still have opportunities for showers across portions of Florida. This front literally just stalls across Orlando and stays stalled into portions of next week. The GFS still is showing that coastal system for next week. I will advance this. And here's the next system for California, which comes on shore Monday evening, and that actually lasts into Wednesday. That's a two-part system. It affects the north first, then it affects southern California as well. As we get here into Tuesday afternoon, look what the GFS does in the south. It tries to pop that area of low pressure again off the southeast coast. I've been talking about this for days. However, other models have backed away from it and completely lost it. Could it still happen? Yes, but it's less likely to happen now. At this point, we are into Wednesday morning, and take a look at the west coast. That system has come on shore, and watch what happens as I advance this. This then becomes a major system for the northern plains, and this could be what the big weather talker is next week, especially in the media. This is something we're going to have to watch because it's showing up on multiple pieces of guidance. As you can see here, the northern plains, you have a very strong area of low pressure, blizzard conditions in North Dakota. And this system then continues eastward as we head into that weekend. And the front kind of stalls and pops another area of low pressure across the Ohio Valley. But we won't really concern ourselves with this system until we get further down the line. Let's take a look at the European model for the same time frame. This is the 0Z run from last night. As you can see here, here goes the front across Florida, where it does get hung up now. And the European is also showing showers and thunderstorms throughout the weekend for Florida. And look what it does here with the coastal system. It is southeast of the previous runs. So could it stay out to sea now? It's possible. Could it come back? That's also possible. We'll have to watch the model trends. But as of last night, the models were starting to lose the system. Look what happens here on the west coast. The big system comes on shore. You get heavy mountain snow. Rain in the lower levels, something you really do not need. And then watch this. You have a strong area of low pressure up across the northern plains. You have thunderstorms down in the south, and this could be a relatively big, severe thunderstorm threat as we head into late next week, and it's something we'll have to keep an eye on, as there could be a tornado threat and maybe even a strong wind threat, as this system, as of now, is projected to come through faster than the current front that will get hung up over Florida. Quickly taking a look at the EPS model, and you'll see on the EPS for next week that it also has shifted further southeast with the coastal system. Here it is for early next week, and as you can see, there are not as many members showing the system, and it's not clustered up against the coast like we were seeing yesterday. Taking a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, well below average temperatures expected in the west coast, near normal for much of the east with exceptions to Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, where there is a strip of below normal temperatures. Taking a look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, below average temperatures are expected in the west, and near normal temperatures in the east with even above normal temperatures in Florida. So that is a change from what we have been seeing. So it's finally may warm up in places of Florida where they want to see it warm right now because it's spring break. The 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook continues to show well above average precipitation in the west coast because of those multiple systems that are going to come on shore. In the east, above average precipitation is expected from central Florida on up into portions of Virginia with near normal to even below average precipitation across portions of Texas. The 8 to 14 day outlook shows slightly above average precipitation in the northwest, below average precipitation in western Texas and portions of New Mexico and Arizona, and in the east, slightly above average precipitation across from southwest Pennsylvania down through Mississippi. Alrighty, that does it for today's weather outlook. We will have another weather outlook again tomorrow. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked the video, hit the like button down below. If you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below and share this with your friends. Have a great day, everyone. See you next time.